leadership.
That's right. There's a season for everything, as what the Bible tells us. So I understand that because I was involved in leadership as well when I worked for the federal government. We're going to move right along. Sold the $5 million business, but I presume that you got more than $5 million for that sale.
Well, I will tell you, Arthur, building an indoor year-round child-friendly swim center in a shopping center is a very expensive endeavor, and my wife and I have built five of them in the last 16 years. What really happened on August 25th is we started paying off a bunch of debt. And so
Mhm.
that felt great. The swimming schools were paying all of that debt, but my name was on the bottom line. And today, all of that debt is gone. We're not on easy street. We didn't cash it in and move to the rich side of town. But it is nice not having that pressure of, man, if the schools don't make it, I've got to come out of pocket for a bunch of money. So it was an interesting experience. And the group that I sold it to, they're friends from another part of the country who had 16 of their own schools. They're very good operators. They're going to take these five swim schools and help even more kids learn to get safe in the water. And so it's all been a wonderful thing. And you're interviewing somebody who has a whole lot less debt on his shoulders than he did 6 months ago.
Well, that's all right. You sound like a man that knows when to hold them and know when to fold them.
What they tell you is the right time to sell is when you've got a motivated buyer who will pay you a fair price. And that's what
That's
happened.
right.
Yeah.
Very, very good. All right, we're going to move on. We got, for those hearing about it for the first time, what are the four leadership necessities and why does leadership break down even when one of them is missing?
Yeah. Great question. Well, first of all, you gave me more credit than I deserved in the outset. I discovered these simply looking at good leaders. If I'm not sure I was ever a great leader when I was running my business, but I'd like to think I'm a student of good leadership. You know, nothing new has been written about leadership. Competence, of character, of conviction, and of covenant. That interchange of formal and informal relationship. And I think anybody who is managing a team and wants to become a high achieving leader, if they're trying to grow in their competence, if they're developing rich character, if they're recognizing the personal and formal covenant they have with their people, and if they're seeing down the road further, becoming people of greater conviction. I don't know if any of us ever arrive as fully formed leaders, but we can assure ourselves that we're on the journey of becoming a high achieving leader if we're working in those four areas. And here's the problem: the second half of your question, what happens if you default on any of those? My anger management boss lacking in character, and as a result, he did not have the authority to lead well. And so you compromise your leadership if you're lacking in any of these areas. You never get it perfect, but but if you're working on it, it's a developmental process that turns you from a manager into a high achieving leader.
And those are some exceptional points that you use on Dr. Andy. And as a matter of fact, I would say that essentially it's in alignment with what we do in our relationship with Christ.